Good afternoon, all.
Good afternoon, sir.
So, Aditi, you have already joined, and the last day, the last problem is already given to the students. That is the rose diagram, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So, are students confident enough to do that, or Aditi will explain that how to do the diagram? Actually, the data, whatever was given to you, we are actually trying to show you how in 3 different ways this is being done. First, you did it through numerically. Then you try to do it in a linear method, linear vector method. And this diagram will be again a vector diagram, but in a 360-degree space. So you must understand the difference between all 3. First is a numerical method. Second is a linear vector diagram. And now what you will be doing, that will be a vector diagram in 360-degree space. In a 360-degree space, how we represent the vector and how we identify the mean direction, its magnitude as well as the direction. Because it is a vector, so we have to have both the direction and magnitude. So I request students that they explain, they say that whether they are confident they can do it, or Aditi will explain that how to do it.
So please explain once.
So Aditi, you first let me.
Sure.
Aditi, can you will you be presenting in form of a slide, or just you just present like this?
So I'll draw it. Like मैं सर draw करूँगी इन लोगों को एक example and ये लोग देख लेंगे.
ठीक. Okay.
Yes, sir. So shall I start?
Yeah, please.
Okay, sir. So, sir, the basic difference among these 3 methods is, first 2 methods that you have already done, they give you the exact value. You are getting the mean direction, exact value. You are getting some degrees. Okay. In the rose diagram, you will get a dominant current direction. I'll show how will you get it. Okay, so rose diagram is a like circular representation of your data. It gives you the dominant current direction, as I said. In this rose diagram, what we do, we plot our data values along the radius of a circle. A circle is representing 360-degree. Okay, so we will divide our data in different groups, in different intervals. We take the intervals as 0 to 30-degree, then 30 to 60-degree, in intervals of 30-degree, either in or we can take it in intervals of 15-degree also. That depends on the number of values and also the what kind of data you are having. Okay, so I'll show how to plot it. Okay. See, you have 54 values with you. Okay. So what will you do? You will divide your values in the intervals of, for let's say for 30-degree. So what will you do? 0 to 30-degree. You see how many values are you getting. For example, let's say you are having 10 values. You have this data with you, like 25-degree, 28-degree, 36-degree, and so on. So you calculate how many values are falling in this interval, 0 to 30-degree. Then you see, next interval will be 30-degree to 60-degree. So you see how many values are falling in this interval. So let's assume it's 20, or for example, it's 20. Next interval, similarly, it will be 60-degree to 90-degree. So again, you will see how many values you are getting, number of values you are getting. For example, let's say you are getting 15. Okay, so now you see the maximum number of readings. What will you get? For example, if we see here, like this is, I'm assuming. Okay, so 20 is the highest number of reading, highest frequency I'm getting. Okay, so I will draw a circle, keeping in mind that I have to plot 20 values there. On the scale of radius, we take a scale. For example, 1 centimeter of representing 5 values, or 1 centimeter of your radius is representing 10 values. So if I draw a circle, for example, I have 20 values maximum. Okay, I will take a scale, like 1 centimeter of my radius will represent 5 values. Okay, so like maximum radius that we'll need, that will be 4 centimeter. 4 centimeter will represent your 20 values. Okay, so I will draw a circle of radius 4 centimeter. Okay. For example, if I draw a circle and its radius, let's assume it's 4 centimeter. Okay, so now you know that this radius will represent maximum 20 values. Now you have divided your data in this into 30-degree intervals. This circle will represent 360 degree. We will divide the circle into this 30-degree interval. Okay, so if I draw these intervals, let's start from here. You will have 0 degree here, then you will have 30 degree, then 60 degree, and then 90 degree, and so on. You will go like this will be your 180 degree, and then this will be your 270 degree, and again you will get here 360 degree here. Okay, so I have this radius. I have already set this scale. 1 centimeter equals to 5 values. Okay, so I'll divide it into equal intervals, like 1 centimeter, 2 centimeter, 3 centimeter, and then 4 centimeter. Okay, so I will see like 0 to 30 degree, I'm getting 10 values. So how many intervals, like how many distance we need to mark? 2 centimeter for 10 values. So 0 to 30 degree interval mein we are getting 10 values. So I'll mark 2 centimeter from here. Okay, so in this interval, I will mark these 10 values. Like I'm getting 10 values on, and these 2 centimeter are representing those 10 values. Then if I go, if in this interval 30 to 60 degree, I am having 20 values. Okay, now 1 centimeter is representing 5 values, 2 centimeter 10 values, 3 centimeter 15 values, and 4 centimeter 20 values. Okay, so I will mark this again as 20 values, as this portion representing 20 values. Again, in 60 degree to 90 degree interval, I am having 15 values. Okay, so again I will see like 1 centimeter is, this is my 1 centimeter, it is representing 5 values, 2 centimeter 10 values, and 3 centimeter will represent your 15 values. Okay, so now I will mark this, and you will go like this for all the values. Okay, so if I shade this area, you will see that you have got 3 modes. Okay, but they all are falling in like in the major direction, that is northeast. Okay, if I consider that this is north, if I mark the directions, this is east, this is south, and this is west. Okay, so the major mean dominant value current direction is northeast. So now I think the difference is clear between the Rose diagram and the other two methods. Is in Rose diagram you are getting a dominant paleo current direction, that is northeast. In other two methods you will get the exact value. For example, let's say you were getting 40 degree or 30 degree. Okay, you will get the exact value. In Rose diagram you will get the just a direction, like northeast or northeast or northeast southeast, like this. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Any confusion or any doubt? Like,
Just I just supplement a few things what Aditi has already discussed. What Aditi initially has done, she classified the data and the frequency. that is 10, 20, 15, these are the frequency. And what is 0 to 30, 30 to 60, these are class interval. So you need to first see the data and make a table. Okay. So in the table, one column will be class interval and the next column will be frequency. So you have to prepare a table first. Now, in the class interval, it, as Aditya has rightly said, it fully depends upon the number of data you have got and the area that you have covered. Okay. So the class interval, suppose any area that I could not generate much data availability very low. So in that case, if I take a very large class interval, then I will be losing all the resolution of the data. Okay. So fully, then I may also go to the 10-degree interval, 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40. Now, Aditya, it can be 20-degree interval also, 0 to 20, 20 to 40. It all depends upon that what is your total number of data and which area that you are covering. That the data availability is low, then the class interval should be narrow. The data availability is high, the class interval may be more wide. And then accordingly, the frequency will come. Fine. Now, the thing is that the Rose diagram, how it is to be drawn, that she has already discussed. Now, as Aditi has taken 1 centimeter is equal to 5 values, because she has a large frequency like 20, 10, 15, that the frequency is very high. Suppose I have the 3, 4, 5, this is my frequency. In that case, what I will do, I will take 1 centimeter is equal to one data. So it all depends. It is subjective depending on the frequency, the both class interval and frequency. The class interval is dependent on the availability of data, the scaling, that is 1 centimeter, how many data, that is also depending upon the frequency. That is a very high frequency, then the single unit will represent more data. If it is a low frequency, the single unit will represent less data. So I believe that you people have understood that how it will be done. Now, as she has discussed, that it is first of all, you must understand, you are plotting here a vector, because you are taking the direction with respect to north. So a direction, and when you are saying that you are representing 5 values by 1 centimeter, 1 value by 1 centimeter, that means you are talking about the magnitude. So both direction with respect to north as well as the magnitude that is being plotted in this diagram. So it is a vector diagram, first of all. It is a vector diagram, and this vector diagram actually showing you the dominant mode, as she has said. But is it really so subjective that it is a completely dominant mode and you cannot identify the real data? Yes, you can identify the real data as well. It is not a subjective. How? I have already discussed that how you do that. Possibly you remember that also, that you do the sign component of each data, do the cost component of each data, then multiply that with the frequency, and then the equation comes, that how you identify the mean direction, the magnitude of the mean, that is the square root of the sigma n sine square, sigma n cos square, that is the magnitude, and the direction of the vector mean you can easily identify from this diagram. So what you have to do, you have to now plot one data, and then from that you have to first classify the data by class interval, identify the frequency, then you have to choose a particular scale for representation of the data, then you have to plot the Rose diagram, and from after the Rose diagram, then with all the data, you have to identify the sign component of data, the cost component of the data, and based on sign and cost component, you have to identify the tan inverse and the theta, that is the tan inverse of the component, that is the angle of the mean as well as the magnitude. This is the total problem. Any confusion? Okay. So you do one. What is the time now? This is 2:45. So by 3:15, one particular data. There are three different sets of data that is given to you, na?
So 4.
Four. So at least one data that you do now till 3:15. The rest you will be submitting in the Google Classroom. Doing all you will be submitting in the Google Classroom, and also you have to represent what the rose diagram will come, because I have discussed in class the different patterns of the rose diagram and what does this indicate. So once you plot the rose diagram, then you will interpret the possible environmental condition where you can get this kind of rose. Okay, so that you do. Then after 3:15, once you complete one, then we will start the petrography. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Aditi?
Yes, sir.
I am what Dr. Das has sent. I am working on it, and hopefully by Saturday or Sunday I will send you the final year, because I am making some changes on that.
Okay.
And by the time you just check all the references and the format.
Yes.
So, Aditi, in petrography, you will be actually showing, na?
Sir, I will present. Okay, sir.
Huh.
No. Yes, sir.
So you represent, and then I will come in picture.
Okay, sir. I'll should I explain that too?
No, you project it. You project it, and then we'll discuss, and then we'll do.
Okay,
Yes,
sir.
sir.